everyone, and welcome to the Stock Talk for January 13th. So we can see that the market has once again pushed all-time highs. I feel like I'm coming back and doing these stock talks and saying the same things over and over again because the trend obviously has not changed. And I think the most important part to doing technical analysis, or one of the most important parts, is if you can get broad markets correct, then you have a better ability to analyze individual stocks or commodities. But if you can't get broad markets correct in terms of a technical analysis level, then you're going to have a more difficult time analyzing other charts as well. So looking at S&P 500 on the daily time frame, we can see that we're pushing all-time high. Let's just review the hourly, because last Friday we did have an end of day sell-off that took us down towards SPY 325.70. But what we can see is, and we know that on the hourly time frame, as long as we hold over the bottom moving average, which is around SPY 324, then we are okay in terms of the bulls, even on the hourly time frame. What we can see is we dipped below. Today we recovered all of that and broke to an all-time high, breaking above all of our hourly moving averages. So our near-term support is our 200 period moving average at SPY 324, with the trend being higher. On the daily time frame, you can see that there is no reversal in sight. So far so good, and as such, our title really for these presentations have not changed. So what else is new? Well, I do want to talk about the weekly time frame for SPY, because there might be a little bit of concern how we're heading towards a blow-off top. So a blow-off top is when we have a parabolic move to the upside, and that resolves in basically extreme bullishness, and then we get a corrective move towards the downside. So just want to point out, this was a blow-off top in early 2018. And one way to measure this is, you can see this line here, and that is, we're on the weekly time frame for SPY. Here's the top of the weekly candle, and you look at the deviation between the 20 period moving average, or the light blue line, and the top of that candle. So if you just measure this out, and I can measure this out for you again, and that is, this is pretty much a 7.3%. You can see this is a 7.3% move towards the downside, or towards the 20 period moving average. So that's how much we deviated before that blow off top occurred. Now, just kind of to mimic a 7.3% where we are right now, I just want to show you that if I just drag this down a little bit, let me do that again. And so that's around a 7.3% move. And we just kind of overlap this and see where a 7.3% move can start from. You can see that if our current price for SPY is around SPY 337, that would represent a potential blow-off top scenario, right? But right now, we're not that close to that scenario yet. Can it be that close? If we continue on this parabolic move, we could certainly get closer, but right now it's on an uptrend. And we also had mentioned several times in the past how this is a 1.5 year consolidation period, and that we're using the force of the consolidation to push to the upside. I will show you Tesla's chart in a moment, which has a similar pattern to this. It's not going to be exactly identical, and no two charts are going to be exactly identical, but I will show you some of the similarities between the S&P 500 and Tesla itself. So if I were to give this chart to any person on the street, or not on the street maybe, but any person who does technical analysis, I said, this is stock XYZ, and I'm showing you a daily time frame. And this is, XYZ on a daily time frame. What do you think of this chart pattern? Well, if they look at this and they said this was one day, this is another day, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, and this is like the weekly time frame. So instead of, these are probably, let's say, minute candles or whatnot, you'd be like, this is pretty darn good, because we came down to our lowest moving average on the daily time frame, I guess, and we continued higher and resolved it to the upside. That's a very bullish pattern, and we just broke out of this pattern. So you can apply this strategy to any chart, any stock. For the S&P 500 as well, this is a healthy move to the upside after a long period of consolidation. So weekly looks good. Now I do want to show you Tesla. So let's take a look at Tesla really quick on the weekly time frame. And so you might be asking, well, what's the similarity here between this and broad markets? Well, it's a similar pattern. How you can see Tesla came and moved higher, consolidated in a bullish pattern. There was a false breakdown towards your 188 support level. And then what happened? Well, we not only broke to the top of the range, which is the boxed area of resistance, but this is now breaking towards all-time highs on a daily basis. And this is a bullish pattern that resolved to the upside after a false breakdown. Well, what's happening on SPY right now? Isn't this a little bit similar? Here's your consolidation, your false breakdown, followed by a resolved move to the upside. So when you look at broad markets, when you look at stocks like Tesla, they exhibit a similar pattern, but nonetheless, both patterns are bullish. So that's pretty much it. Let's move on to TVIX looking at volatility. So I just want to show you some interesting chart patterns. TVIX looking at volatility continues to show you that as markets push all-time highs, it is pushing all-time lows. This is what we've expected. This is what we've been talking about for several months now, going into the late 2019, and that is, you can see there's no reversal in sight, and hence I would not understand why anyone would be interested in TVIX at this point in time, because as we all know, a ticker or stock that makes an all-time low will continue to make all-time lows, and a ticker that, or more likely, let's say, the probability lies that it will continue to make all-time lows, whereas a ticker or stock that makes all-time highs will continue to make all-time highs. All right, so TVIX, no reversal in sight. Continue to scout for more all-time lows on this chart. And that's pretty much it for today. Thank you once again for checking out these videos. Thank you for Rico for posting a comment. Remember, we do have a poll question that asks, where do you think ES or the S&P 500 futures will close by the end of June? So I'm going to close this poll soon because we're moving up, and so just let me know and in the comment section down below. Once again, thank you for your time. Appreciate your responses, and check out our website if you haven't already. We got a lot of good content in there. We've got sentiment indicators, we've got tickers to watch list, we have an active bull bear daily analysis that shows you where the short-term trend can go, the long-term trend can go. A lot of good stuff at our website. Check it out. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.